Hello and welcome back to Peak Performance Systems. I'm Phil Bowman and I'll be your host for today. Now, during the last episode, I introduced the full lifecycle approach, a framework where we take APQP and we embed that into our business processes and ensure that our customers receive the products and the services that they truly deserve. Today, I want to take a bit of a deep dive into some of the aspects of that approach and really understand how we can drive that quality and that learning into the organisation so that we can continuously improve and build better products and better services for our customers from day one. Through my work, I've observed many companies that already have quality management systems in place, but they often find themselves fighting the same fires. They're in a reactive loop. The fire comes up, they put it out, it restarts. It may be on the same production line, it may be elsewhere. There's nothing wrong with the tools that they're using, it's the approach they take and how they embed them through the business. This, for me, is where we really need to concentrate on the feedback, assessment and the corrective actions loop. This is the underpinning to your APQP journey that will turn you into a learning organisation, make your business better and stronger day by day, improving as you go and making sure you deliver those products and services that you have promised. Now, it may feel counterintuitive when we look at the full lifecycle approach that we're starting on the right hand side in the region of production, but for most businesses, you're already there. You're already getting the information that you need to truly learn and truly drive your product quality forwards. Starting in this area is not just a want, it's a must for your business. Take that learning that you get today and feed it back into all of your processes so that you improve your products now and you start to improve your next products for the future, designing out the failures that you can already see. All processes are subject to variation. That is natural and it is normal. Unfortunately, it is that variation that leads to the concerns that are reported by our customers, whether that's in the product or the service that they've received from us. We need to look to control that variation and minimise where we can to improve on a continuous basis. The feedback, assessment and corrective action loop looks to three main objectives to help us through this. Number one, we need to remove special cause of variation. These are those assignable external factors that we can easily put a corrective action in place for to remove. They are often caused by something being done differently away from the normal process. Then, once we have a process that is in control, stable and predictable, we can look to reduce the common cause variation. Common cause variation is that natural process variation that occurs. However, natural variation may be outside of our customers' requirements, and therefore we need to look to how we can control that and keep to a narrow band within everything our customer wants to see. And then finally, we need to cascade the learning from both the special cause variation removal and the common cause variation reduction and make sure that's embedded in all processes across our organisation that could see similar issues. And then we need to plan for future processes, making sure that learning is taken forward and never repeated again. So when we're talking about feedback, this is where we're looking to gather and monitor data from our processes so that we can understand and learn about them. That continuous gathering of data can come from various sources. We can be getting feedback from our customers through surveys, through direct contact, through any form of media that they tell us about what they've received. We can also be monitoring our production processes or our service processes, understanding from the people that are operating them what they're seeing, looking at key performance data that tells us about changes and just understanding what's going on. We need to ensure that we understand anything that's causing failures, but also we need to understand what's gone well. What might be happening in your process that's different, but has actually given a better outcome for your customer. We want to understand those and control those as much as we want to understand and control the failures that we see. As we're gathering that feedback, we need to do something with it to understand, and that's where assessment comes in. We need to be taking that data and really looking to see what's it telling us about our product, about our services, and our processes that are delivering them. How can we understand the failure modes and then understand what's creating those failure modes and fix them? As we look into this assessment phase, we need to be doing two main things. Number one, stop the flow of bad out to our customers. We might be able to pinpoint quite quickly and quite easily a direct cause of failure, something that's happened that we can put an interim containment action around to prevent further flow out. Then we need to be taking some time using practical problem solving techniques to understand what that true root cause of failure is, what within our process and our systems has allowed the failure to happen. And then we need to plan a fix to put in place so that we can prevent those issues from happening again in the future. Once we've understood and verified those root causes that have led to the failures that we've seen, we then need to implement a true fix across the business. We need to make sure that we implement a fix in a controlled manner and that we validate that it will bring the results that we want and remove the issues for our customers on an ongoing basis. Ensuring that we fixed a problem isn't about only concentrating to that process where the failures occurred. We need to then take that learning forwards and make sure it's cascaded across all of our business, all of our processes where that failure mode could occur again in the future. It's absolutely no point in resolving a problem for customer A only for it to potentially come up again in the future for customer B. Having failures is normal. We should never be embarrassed by that, but repeating those failures when we could have prevented them coming up again elsewhere is not, and we should always be looking to take an approach to resolve that. We can use the Japanese approach of Yokoten, cascading that information across everybody, making sure that the fix that has been implemented in location A is also implemented in location B, maybe with further improvements and refinement. We should never look to just implement exactly the same fix. We should always look to improve on it. But taking that learning forward, making sure everyone understands it and everyone has a plan to resolve it is the best way forward for our business to continually learn and continually improve. So, we've understood about some failures after we receive feedback from our customers. We've put fixes in place. But what about if we could predict those failures before they occur and prevent them getting through to our customers? This is where statistical process control can help us. Earlier, we talked about processes that are stable and predictable, and the only way to understand that is through the use of statistical process control. When we look to the inputs of our process, we should be able to measure those inputs in a way that tells us how effective they are. If we make sure our inputs are controlled to a set of parameters, we can be confident that the output of our process will produce the product or the service that our customers require. Statistical process control is a technique where we apply statistical methods through graphing a process, looking at the changes in variation and understanding where common causes may lie and understanding where special causes may lie. We look to remove those special causes, as we've already talked about, and we look to improve on those common causes. We can look for patterns within the process and understand whether there is a change occurring. If we're employing this correctly, we may never see a failure, but we may be able to prevent one before it comes to us. It's really important to understand with statistical process control, we are not measuring our position against the specification. We are measuring our understanding of the process variation. We can then apply that understanding of our process variation to the specification and understand how well we sit within it. Statistical process control is a really powerful tool. It can help us prevent those failures coming, but it can also help us to understand what may be better. Really important to know that an out of control indication may not be a negative aspect. It may show a change in the process that, if you can understand it and if you can control it, will bring a better product to your customers going forwards. You may hear many companies talk about becoming learning organisations, but what do they really mean by that? Well, this for me is where we come back into our full life cycle loop. A learning organisation is one that does not repeat the failures of the past, and it builds better for the future. When we start to look across our organisation, we need to embed that learning that we've taken into our corporate memory. We've got the tools and the techniques within the APQP framework to do that. We can make sure that any issues that we've seen in design of products are built into our DFMEAs for our future vehicle programs. These are activities that we should be doing as we learn through that continuous assessment process. We can then take that DFMEA information forwards and cascade it to our base PFMEAs, making sure that our production processes are planned around our latest known understanding and our latest improvement ideas. And finally, we take it into our control plans. We make sure that our production processes understand what it is they need to control in the future to make sure these issues never occur again. If we employ this on a continuous basis as part of everyday life, that is what drives us to be a learning organisation, and that is how we can continuously improve and prevent the failures coming back for the future. So I want to leave you today with this final thought. Your processes are talking to you, but are you listening? If you're still seeing those same fires reoccurring and you're running around trying to fix them day in, day out, you may need to look at your feedback, assessment and corrective action loops. Please be sure to tune in again next video, where we will start to look at how our planning phases and our design and development of parts and processes can be employed through this full life cycle approach. Thank you, and see you again.